Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. وَلَا يَكُنُ الظِّهَارُ إِلَّا مِنَ الزَّوْجَةِ. And zihar will not be except from the wife. حَتَّى لَوْ ظَهَرَ مِنْ أَمَدِهِ لَمْ يَكُنْ مُظَاهِرًا. So much so that if he made zihar with his female slave, he is not a mudahir. لِقَوْلِهِ تَعَالَى مِنْ نِسَائِهِمْ, because Allah Ta'ala's statement, from their wives, right? وَالَّذِينَ يُظَاهِرُونَ مِنْ نِسَائِهِمْ. So it's wives. وَلِأَنَّ الْحِلَّ فِي الْأَمَةِ تَابِعٌ. And because the permissibility in the female slave is tabi'. In other words, when you got a female slave, the primary objective is not wati. Whereas in a mankuha, the primary objective is wati. You understand it? But in a female slave, the primary objective is not wati, it's more khidmat. فَلَا تُلْحَقُ بِالْمَنْكُوحَةِ. So she will not be joined up with a married woman. وَلِأَنَّ الظِّهَارَ مَنْكُولٌ عَنِ الطَّلَاقِ. And because zihar has been transferred from talaq. In other words, zihar was a talaq, right? And then Islam came and it changed its ruling but kept its asal. وَلَا طَلَاقَ فِي الْمَمْلُوكَةِ. And there's no talaq in a female slave. You can't divorce your female slave. You understand it? You can't divorce your female slave. You can't divorce your wife. فَإِنْ تَزَوَّجَ إِمْرَأَةً بِغَيْرِ أَمْرِهَا ثُمَّ ظَاهَرَ مِنْهَا ثُمَّ أَجَازَتِ النِّكَاحَ فَالظِّهَارُ بَاطِلٌ. And if he marries a woman without her command or without her permission, so what's it? Nikahul mawkuf. Nikah mawkuf is pending on her permission, right? And then she never shall give permission. And what he did, summa dhahara minha, then he made zihar with her. Summa, then she permitted the nikah. Then the zihar is batil. Why? لأنه صالح في التشبيه وقت التصرف. Because he was truthful in resembling at the time of transacting. In other words, when he said these words of zihar, you are upon me like the back of my mother, he was correct in that, because at that time she wasn't his wife, because she hadn't given permission as yet, right? فَلَمْ يَكُنْ مُنْكَرًا مِنَ الْقَوْلِ. So that is not detested speech, right? وَالظِّهَارُ لَيْسَ بِحَقٍّ مِنْ حُقُوقِهِ حَتَّى يَتَوَقَّفَ. Right. بخلاف إعتاق المشتري من الغاصب لأنه من حقوق الملك. Right. Zihar is not a right from the rights of nikah. So much so that it will be pending. You understand? So you can't say that, okay, just like the nikah is pending, the zihar, if we're going to say it's a right of nikah, it will also be pending. Because if the nikah is pending, then all the things, all the rights of nikah are also pending. So when she permits, then the nikah goes through and all its rights also go through. You understand it? So here we say zihar is not a right from the rights of nikah. It's not something connected to nikah as a right. You understand it? So much so that it is pending. You understand it? With the nikah being pending, contrary to the purchaser from the ghasib, right? Freeing, right? لأنه من حقوق الملك, because it is from the rights of ownership, right? Contrary to the situation where, right? Yeah, so a person stole something, right? He not something, he stole a female slave or a slave or male slave, right? And then you purchased that slave from him. You purchased that slave from him, and after purchasing the slave from him, right, you freed that slave. Your freeing is pending on the permission of the original owner of the slave, allowing all these transactions to go through. You understand it? Because remember, he stole the female slave, or he stole that male slave, right? And then he sold it to you, sold that person to you, that slave to you, and then you freed it. So this freeing of yours is from your hukukul milk. So that freeing of yours will also be pending on the permission of the original owner. You understand it? So freeing is from hukukul milk, but zihar is not from hukukul nikah. You saw the difference? So just as milk is pending, in this case, milk, you bought a stolen thing. right? So your ownership is pending, right? Pending what? The permission of the original owner, right? So just as the milk is pending, the freeing that you did is also pending. When that milk goes through, then your freeing will go through, right? ومن قال لنساء أنتن علي كظهر أمي كان مظاهرا منهن جميعا. And whoever said to all his wives, you are upon me like the back of my mother, then he is a muzahir from them, all of them. لأنه أضاف الزهار إليهن, because he attributed the zihar to all of them. فصار كما إذا أضاف الطلاق, so it becomes just as if he attributed talaq to all of them. You understand it? وعليه لكل واحدة كفارة, and upon him for each one he must pay a separate kafara now if he wants to keep them. Do you understand it? He must pay a separate kafara. لأن الحرمة تثبت في حق كل واحدة, because the hurmat is established in the right of each one of them. والكفارة لإنهاء الحرمة, and the kafara is to finish off and to remove that hurmat, right? فيتعدد بتعددها, so it will be many because the hurmats are many. But the many hurmats, the kafara will also be many. بخلاف الإيلاء منهن, contrary to if he made ila from them, right? So he said, والله لا أقرب كنا. You understand? All of them. You understand? But Allah, he said he won't go close to his wives for 4 months. So there's ilah from all of them now. Right? لأن الكفارة فيه لصيانة حرمة الإثم. Because the kafara in this case is for the protection of the hurmat of the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَمْ يَتَعَدَّدْ ذِكْرُ الْإِثْمِ, and the name, the mentioning of the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was not many. It was done once. You say, Wallahi, it was once, Wallahi. So one kafara here in here will remove the hurmat from all his wives in Ila. You understand it? But in kafara, it will need many kafaras, kafara for each one of them. Faslun fil kafarati. Now what is this kafara? قال وكفارة الزهار عتق رقبة. Kafara of zihar is the freeing of a slave. فإن لم يجد فصيام شهرين متتابعين. If he doesn't find, then fasting 2 months in succession. So this is now the tertib, you understand it? فإن لم يستطع فإطعام 60 مسكينا. If he can't fast, then is a feeding 60 poor people. للنص الوارد فيه, because of the nas which came in regards to this. فإنه يفيد الكفارة على هذا الترتيب. It gives the benefit of kafara in this sequence. وكل ذلك قبل المسيس. And all of that is before going close to his wife. Must pay the kafara first, then go close to his wife. وهذا في الإعتاق والصوم ظاهر للتنصيص عليهم. And thus in freeing and the fasting, it is clear because the nas is because of the nas stipulating that. You understand it? If you look at it, min qabli ayatamasa, min qabli ayatamasa is both for fasting, for freeing and for fasting. But there's no min qabli ayatamasa for feeding. So they say, وَكَذَا فِي الْإِطْعَامِ. Likewise, also for it'am, you must do the it'am before masis, right? لأن الكفارة فيه منهية للحرمة. Because the kafara in zihar is the one that will finish off the hurmat, right? فَلَا بُدَّ مِن تَقْدِيمِهَا عَلَى الْوَتِي. So it is necessary to proceed it over the wati, لِيَكُونَ الْوَتْيُ حَلَالًا, so that the wati will be halal. So although there's no min qabli tamasa there before feeding, but because if you look at aqlan, the kafara is there to break the hurmat, right? And therefore you need to do the kafara before the wati, so that the wati can be halal. But tujzi'u, right? وتجزئ في العتق الرقبة الكافرة والمسلمة والذكر والأنثى, right? It will suffice in freeing a kafir slave and a Muslim slave and a male and a female, والصغير والكبير, and a small and big. لأن اسم الرقبة يطلق على هؤلاء, because the word raqaba is applied to all of these people. هي عبارة عن الذات المرقوق المملوك من كل وجه, because this is an expression about somebody who is owned and who is a slave from every aspect. In other words, they don't have any signs of freedom in them. You understand it? Not even a step into freedom, right? والشافعي رحمه يخالفنا في الكفارة. Imam Shafi'i, he differs with us when it comes to a kafir slave. right? ويقول الكفارة حق الله تعالى فلا يجوز صرفه إلى عدو الله تعالى كالزكاة. He said kafara is a right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So spending it to the enemy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or diverting it to the enemy of Allah ta'ala, is not permissible. Just like zakat. Just like zakat, you only give to poor Muslims, you can't give to poor kafir. Right? Likewise, say kafara is the right, you will only apply to Muslim slaves, right? وَنَحْنُ نَقُولُ الْمَنْسُوسُ عَلَيْهِ إِعْتَاقُ الرَّقَبَةِ. We say that the thing that's coming in the text is the freeing of a slave. وَقَدْ تَحَقَّقَ, right? And indeed that has been realized. وَقَصْدُهُ مِنَ الْإِعْتَاقِ التَّمَكُّنُ مِنَ الطَّاعَةِ. And his intention for freeing the kafir slave is to give him and the ability to go into Islam, into the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ثم مقارنة المعصية يحال به إلى سوء اختياره. Then that slave now attaching himself to sin will be yuhalu alayhi, will be transferred with him to the evilness of his choice. So what we say now at the end there, what we're saying there is that you're freeing the kafir slave. Why? Because you want him to, when he's free now, he can learn Islam and come into Islam. Then still if he doesn't accept Islam, that's his own choice now. But you gave him that opportunity. You understand it? Leave it till